All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Beloit City Council. Council President Levy is not with us this evening. He had a business commitment starting at 6 o'clock. He may join us as we progress, but he asked that I fill in his stead, at least at the beginning of the meeting. So the first order is called and roll call.
6 councilors present, Councilor Levy absent.
And then the pledge. Please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is special order of the day and announcements. This evening we have none. Item number 4 is public hearings. Again, this evening we have none. Item number 5 is citizens' participation. I would invite anyone who wishes to address the council on issues that we will either deal with tonight or perhaps may in the future deal with. Please step forward, give us your name and address. I won't cut you off in the middle of a sentence, but I would ask that you limit your remarks to approximately 3 minutes. I haven't received any sheets indicating anybody wishes to speak, but if you do, this is your opportunity to address the council. All right, we'll proceed to item number 6, the consent agenda. This evening, the consent agenda consists of items A through C inclusive. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilor so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point. First, do any councilors wish an item removed from the consent agenda? Very well, I see none. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
All right, Ms. DeForest and then Mr. Haynes. Any discussion? All right, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed? Very well, motion carries 6-0, excuse me. Number 7 is ordinances. Excuse me, 7A is a proposed ordinance amending the zoning district map to change the zoning district classification from C1 office district to C2 neighborhood commercial district for the property located at 412 Liberty Avenue. This is before the council for a second reading. There was a recommendation from the Plan Commission to approve it 3-2. Ms. Christensen?
No one came to the public hearing at Plan Commission. After we did hear from a number of residents who are concerned about the establishment of alcohol, and Plan Commission reviewed the item and voted to recommend approval.
Could you hang on just a second, Ms. Christensen? Somebody has made a note that we're not turned on. Your voice isn't.
So you cannot hear me. Now you can hear me.
There you go. Thank you, whoever.
Do you want me to repeat that?
Répétez, s'il vous plaît.
Do you want me to go through it again? I can.
No, I don't think so. This is a second reading.
So you held a public hearing at your last meeting, and the reason that to remind you, the reason that Plan Commission, the two plan commissioners voted no was because of concern over the possible alcohol use, even if it was through a conditional use permit.
All right, questions of Ms. Christensen? Is there a motion to approve, excuse me, 7A? Oh, Ms. Johns?
We still want to change the zoning on this to conform to the neighborhood, though, correct?
That's what staff's recommendation is.
Thank you.
But this does not approve the sale of alcohol at that location?
No, it does not. And Plan Commission did, vote 3-2 to recommend it as well. And the people who did vote for it did indicate that the reasoning behind it was to make this property consistent with the comprehensive plan.
Okay. All right, any additional questions? Is there a motion to approve 7A?
Move to approve 7A.
All right, Ms. Johns? Mr. Dench? Again, any counselor questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, the motion carries 5-1. Item number 8 is appointments. This evening, we have several recommendations from the Appointment Review Committee to consider. Excuse me. The Appointment Review Committee met on the 14th of March and makes the following recommendations to the council. It recommends the appointment to the Board of Ethics of Lauren Steffens, to the Community Development Authority Crystal Simkins, to the Disabled Parking Enforcement Assistance Council Robert E. Wilkes, to the Equal Opportunities and Human Relations Commission Matthew Finnegan, and to the Landmarks Commission Sherry Carley. Is there a motion to approve the recommended appointments?
Second?
Mr. Haynes, Ms. Johns, any additional comments or questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. I would announce the following vacancies exist on various city boards and committees. If you're interested in looking into that, check with the clerk's office or City Hall generally. The Appointment Review Committee has 3 vacancies for residents. The Board of Ethics, 1 vacancy for a former city councilor. The Board of the Review has 2 vacancies. Disabled Parking Enforcement Assistance Council has a number of vacancies, 3. Equal Opportunities and Human Relations Commission has 1 vacancy. The Municipal Golf Committee has a vacancy for a youth representative. The Plan Commission has a vacancy for 1 resident. The Police and Fire Commission has a vacancy for a resident, as does the Traffic Review Committee. Again, if you have an interest in serving the city, please let the clerk's office know, or the city manager, or any of your city councilors, and we'll get you in touch with the appropriate authorities and right people. Item number 8 is city councilor activities and upcoming events. Ms. DeForest, can you start us this evening?
Certainly, I'd be happy to. Had a busy last few weeks. Starting just yesterday, I enjoyed the Beloit Janesville Chamber Orchestra and appreciated being able to attend a concert. Would just like to say I'm grateful to have that local jewel right here in Beloit. Probably the most thing I was most proud of the last few weeks. Sorry, I'm exhausted. Was attending the resident meeting out at Park River Bluff to discuss the public housing rehab, and was very proud of our staff. Kathy Pollard did an exceptional job of meeting with the residents and explaining to them what they can expect with the rehabilitation of the public housing units there. And the residents were engaged and enthusiastic, and really appreciated that level of reach to the residents to make sure that their anxieties and concerns were addressed. So that was definitely government at its best. So I just want to thank the Housing Authority staff for doing such an exceptional job in making sure that we're involving the residents and receiving input from them on the rehab project. Was pleased to attend the School Board Candidates Forum last week, and would like to remind you that there is also another Candidates Forum this week on Tuesday the 22nd at 6:30. And would finally like to just make sure the public is aware that the Section 8 waiting list will reopen on April 4th. And Section 8, for those who don't know, is housing subsidy for low to moderate income individuals and families. So would encourage you to pick up an application in the Housing Authority office and fill that application out and apply for our local Section 8 waiting list, which is opening up April 4th. Thank you.
Mr. Tench?
I would just like to reiterate that there is the League of Women Voters Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum tomorrow night in this hall. And it is, I think, the last chance that the public will have to see all the candidates together for these positions. We do have a contested city council race for the first time in several years, so There is a lot at stake, certainly with everything going on with state funding and so on. So please mark your calendar and either be here to witness it yourself or watch it on television. This is the one that is broadcast. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Haynes?
Yes, I had a chance this Saturday to attend the Rise and Shine at the Rotary River Center for the French Riverfront. That was an extraordinarily nice presentation there, and that's a precursor to their Bloom event that will be coming up in late April. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Ms. Johns?
I also have been fairly busy the last couple of weeks. I want to congratulate Beloit Memorial's basketball team to an outstanding season. I'm so proud that we have another thing that Beloit can be stick our chests out and be proud of, super sectionals. So that was a great thing for our memorial. Also, we had several teams from various schools that qualified for state with Destination Imagination, so that was another great feather in our cap for our school district. Also, as a proud parent, I want to congratulate the cast and crew of Beloit Memorial's Hairspray. Was an amazing write-up that they've received from the Overture Center. And hopefully we will be seeing some Tommy Awards come through from that to our theater department. Pretty big stuff there. Hopefully you got out to see it. It was a very memorable performance, one of the best I've seen. So also with my fellow counselor Haynes here, I attended the Friends of Riverfront this past Saturday, enjoyed the Rise and Shine breakfast, and I'm really looking forward to a great season. So many things going on in the community. It's really exciting. If you're bored, it's your own fault. There's always something going on around here. So, also, did have the privilege to attend kind of an open session with the Park District, Parks and Leisure Services, and everybody was able to come and put in input. It was great to hear feedback from area residents and what they're looking for in the Park District. And my dog park is at the top of the list. That was exciting. And had the opportunity after friends Saturday afternoon, did attend the Vets Roll Casino Night. Spent many hours gambling and playing poker. Legally, and just apparently need to keep my day job. Didn't have quite enough to finish in the money. So, but it was a great time, and it was a fundraiser for Vets Roll, so it was a very, very good fundraiser. So I hope they made a lot of money from that. So that's really about it for the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what the next 2 weeks bring. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Noonan?
Nothing further to add, thank you.
All right, thank you. I've just got a couple quick things. I did attend the Community Development Authority meeting with the residents, and was very impressed with the various options that the architects had presented to the CDA as well as to the residents. And just the tenor and nature of the meeting was very, very positive. And I also did get a chance to attend the Hairspray musical at the high school, and what a tremendous amount of positive energy that the young people were putting out there. It was just, you couldn't help but leave with a much more positive aspect and mindset than when you came in with it. It was very, very impressive. And I believe not only did Ms. Johns have a child in there, but so did you, Ms. DeForest.
My daughter was pretty awesome, if I can say.
I think so, too. So, all right. The next item on the agenda is item number 10, City Manager's presentation. There is none tonight. Item number 11 is a report from boards and city officers. 11A is a resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for grant funding under the 2011 Wisconsin Office of Justice Assistance Wisconsin Track System Program. Chief Liggett, a lot of words. What does it mean? What should we do? Why?
This particular grant program is designed to enhance the capability of fire departments to track patients that are critically injured in a mass casualty situation, whether it's a bus rollover, a building collapse, a tornado, something like that, where we have a lot of patients to deal with. There's not enough time when that type of incident occurs, to take down a lot of patient information and track and fill out ambulance reports like we would typically do on a simple ambulance run to a person's home. In this situation, the way we track patients is we use a triage tag, and that tag classifies the patient as either walking wounded, an intermediate, or life-threatening injuries, or dead. We use that triage tag to decipher what level of care that patient gets right away and how we transport them. So on that tag, there's a barcode, and that barcode can be scanned into a computer, and then the transportation officer that's on scene can assign that patient to a hospital. So we know where that patient's going, how many patients that individual hospital gets. It increases efficiency, it improves communications with the hospital itself. And the Office of Justice Assistance is providing a pilot program where they're offering a free computer and scanner to departments that are participating in the trauma systems. And there's a no match for us. There may be maintenance costs in the future after the warranty of the program is over, but that would be easily absorbed into our particular budget. So this will greatly enhance our ability to respond to mass casualty incidents and improve communications with hospitals, and also better allow us to track patient transportation for billing purposes and if that need arises.
All right, thank you, Chief. I would have a question to start off with. One, what is the shelf life of this technology, and will we be in 5 or 7 years asked to pick up the costs of it at that time? And secondly, is this the sort of thing that the Beloit Fire Department has to have, or can a region have it? And is a region response sufficient for this sort of a mass casualty situation? Do we have to have one? Janesville has one, everybody has to have one, or can we get by with some sharing?
The idea is to test. This is a pilot program, so we're testing the technology for the state. If the technology proves to be effective through mass casualty drills and practicing in the field for disaster drills, then, or if we have a live incident where we're using it to track patient responses to hospitals, then it would be a program that would probably implement it statewide for every service to have. It's important that the afflicted jurisdiction, regardless of where it is, be able to track those patients. And disaster knows no home address or location, so it can happen here, Superior, Milwaukee, Madison, anywhere. So that technology, I think, is a developing technology that will be available across the state.
Ms. Johns?
Thank you. As a person that has participated in one of the mass drills down at Rockford Airport, I can see the value in having a barcode, because I know they were having a hard time keeping up with who was where and what hospital they went to.
Well, what happens right now is the transportation officer wears a vest, and it's got four pockets in it. He rips that little tag off, and it goes in one of the 4 pockets, and that's how we track how many of what type of patients we've transported now. No idea which hospital they go to. It's very difficult to track that. So having the computer capability to say, okay, these 3 reds are going to Beloit, these 3 reds are going to Janesville, these 3 reds are going to Rockford, these 3 yellow patients or intermediate patients are going to, Belvedere. It allows us to do that. And the type of transportation, by helicopter, by ground, by bus. So,
I think if you guys have never participated in one of those, you really see how chaotic and how much really goes into keeping track of that.
Yep.
Ms. DeForest?
Well, Chief Liggett, I'd like to thank you for aggressively seeking after our participation in this pilot and seeking for this grant. And I would think that responsiveness would be very important in terms of whether the mass casualty happened, off the interstate, off of Beloit or by Janesville. So I would hope that we would secure this. It's grant funded. You said there's no cost to the city except the possibility of operational maintenance costs down the road. So I definitely think it's worth the investment. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Additional counselor questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve 11A?
Motion to approve?
By Mr. Noonan
Second?
and Ms. Johns. Again, any additional counselor comments or discussion? Call the question. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Very well. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
luck.
And for one of the shortest meetings on record, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, Ms. Johns, second? All right, Mr. Dench, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Like somebody second.